Namaste and hello, this is your Sanskrit instructor welcoming you back into lesson number 94. Today we are going to talk about a difference in the declension. For one of the declension at least, for the locative plural, for feminine nouns. So lata was a feminine noun that ends in a. Nadi is a feminine noun that ends in long e. Now, if you take a look at locative plural here, and remember, there's a reason why these tables are together is because they share very similar patterns, but there is a difference between locative plural in both of these. So if you could take a look, locative plural of lata is latasu. Now, the reason why it's long a is because the lata ends in a long a. It's a masculine noun that ends in a. And instead of nadi su for a locative plural, we have nadi shu. Now, why is it not su? That's the question here. Why is it not su? And I have the answer. And I'm sure you can guess that the reason why this is shu and not su is because there's a brand new sandhi. So the difference between lata su and nadi shu is the result of the following rule. So let's take a look. When sa is preceded by a vowel except a or a, or by ka or ra, it is changed to a sha. So, as you can see here, this sa is preceded by the a in lata, so it doesn't need to change into sha. However, this was originally nadisu. Nadisu. This sa over here is preceded by a vowel except a or a, and it's not preceded by a ka or ra. For that reason, that's why that su turned into the shu in nadi shu. Okay, the cerebral sha. So again, when the sa is preceded by a vowel except a, or by the consonant ka or ra, it is changed to sha. When in the same word, ta, ma, ya, va, or any vowel follows. So the vowel that follows here is the u. So if there wasn't a vowel that followed, then it would have stayed the same. Even if, so what does it mean if ta, ma, ya, or va follows? That means is that if this sa was, if it's a sa, then as long as it's attached to a vowel, a, I, u, ri, so this would be sa, si, etc. Once it has a vowel, then it would change into sha. Once it is preceded by any vowel except a or a, or if it's preceded by ka or ra. So what does that mean? If sa was preceded by, let's say we have an e here, or any vowel except a, and you had a sa that wasn't followed by a vowel, but it was followed by ta. We're going to use this as an example. Ta. This sa, because it's preceded by a vowel except a, and it is followed by ta, this sa would still change into a sha. Okay? It would still change into this sha. So that is what that means. That is what this part here means. So now let's go over some examples. Oh, and take a look at the extra note. So an anuswar or a visarg do not affect the application of this rule. So we'll take a look at that in the examples. So let's look. So here we have nadi su becomes nadi shu. And we already went over that earlier. Then we have anu sang becomes anushang. So anusang to anushang. This is a nga. So why did it turn into a sha? Why did this sa turn into a sha? The reason that being is that the sa is preceded by any vowel except a. This is an u. And it is followed by, this is sung. This is fulfilled. This sa is fulfilled by an a. Remember, sa equals sa with a halant plus an a. So you know that there is an a here in this word. After sa, there's an a that is preceding. It's a vowel that follows that sa. So that's why this sa turns into the cerebral sha. Our next example is we have tanuhu and su. So this goes back to the rule that an anuswar or a visarg do not affect the application of the rule. Notice that tanuhu su still goes into tanuhu shu, even though this visarg is in the way. So again, this sa is still preceded by an u and it's followed by any vowel, so it turns into a shu. So you have tanuhu shu. And finally, our last example, we have abhiseka becomes abhisheka. Again, the reason is that now, even though this bha looks here, so it looks like the sa is preceded by a bha, remember, sometimes you have to figure things out from their pronunciation. If we write it out in English, in the English pronunciation, we have abhiseka. This e is actually preceding this sa, and then the sa is followed by any vowel. So that is why this sa turns into this sha, and you end up getting abhi she ka. Okay. So these are all the examples. This is another rule to add to the list among your sandhis, and something else to be aware of when we're doing our translations, and especially when we are translating sentences from English to Sanskrit. So with that, here is your rule. And this is your Sanskrit instructor signing off with a namaste.